with this dark arts thing. I want to play a little clip here. What Arteta has said about the dark arts. Take a little listen to this. I want to get Mo's opinion on it.
No comments. I've been there before.
Sorry.
I've been there before. I was there for 4 years.
Of course.
So
What is happening?
I have all the information, so I know. Believe me.
He was asked about the dark arts. He said no comment, and then he basically said, "I was at City for 4 years. Trust me, I know all about dark arts." But we've seen most clubs celebrated for dark arts. Why do you suddenly think, Mo, the media? We know rival clubs are angry about it. They're writing letters to the PGMOL. City fans are kicking off about it. Arsenal's rivals are kicking off about it. Why are Arsenal and Arteta specifically getting so much attention for how they score corners, delaying time when they need to, but everybody else gets praised?
Basically, I echo what Sam said in some aspects, not every aspect, and I disagree with you on a couple of points. We'll raise it after this. But I actually think, in my opinion, the guy that started the dark arts, actually, which is Mourinho called him out, is Pep Guardiola. And Pep Guardiola is the one that used to tell Barcelona players to surround the referees all the time, to get players sent off. We remember that. We remember the Busquets on the ground against Inter in 2010 holding his face when he was completely okay. Now, Rodri did it against Kai Havertz. So that is called dark arts. Actually, that is cheating. Actually, when you hold your face when nothing happens. So Pep Guardiola, and I've known that for a while, like Pep Guardiola is the one who tells his players to act, fake, and do all the stuff. That's from the Barcelona. That has nothing to do with Man City. That is from back in the days. But everyone do this. But Arsenal, people don't like Arsenal. I'm going to tell you why people don't like Arsenal. Because if Arsenal win the league, there is nothing to banter. There's nothing, nobody to talk about, bro. It's not going to be Chelsea channels or Man City channels or Liverpool channels making fun of Arsenal. Basically, that is what it is. And there's not going to be anything to banter Arsenal with. They have been bad for 20 years, and now they are coming up in the rise, so they banter. Also, we have to speak about their fan base. People say, but their fan base are annoying and everything. I'm going to say this. Liverpool fans were way more annoying in the quadruple season. Hossam was very annoying in the quadruple season. I remember I hated when Liverpool won. I used to come on the Football Terrace match reactions, and Liverpool fans were so arrogant and annoying, and I really prayed for their downfall, and it happened. They didn't win the quadruple, and it was great to see, right? So I have the same feeling. But now this notion that people are siding with Man City is absolutely ridiculous. And people don't answer the question. When I ask, and that is no fault of Manchester City, but however, hear me out here. Michael Oliver is the referee that refed Man City and Arsenal last year with Kovacic, right? Michael Oliver is the one that refed Liverpool, Man City, and didn't give the penalty against Doku. So the Premier League must be doing something on purpose. And that's not, I'm not going to say Man City are cheating, but even you as a Man City fan, you have to ask yourself a question. There is this officer or this judge that gave the wrong verdict, right? Twice. And now the third case, you're still giving it to the same judge. There has to be something wrong here. We have to stop and ask ourselves this question, right? Because even Howard Webb came out and said, yeah, Kovacic should have been sent off. And everyone said that Doku should have been penalized with a penalty that could have changed the title race completely. For the third game running, that can decide a title, or imagine if Arsenal lost, you're giving it to the same guy who is accused, rightfully or wrongfully, of going to the Emirates and getting paid. I don't know the whole information. There has to be something fishy here. I'm not saying Man City did this and that, but come on now. There has to be something fishy. And by the way, Arteta, the dark arts and everything, I think Arteta is just an annoying guy, just basically, and we have to say it as it is. He's just an annoying guy. He's that guy who rattled. You know what? We've all seen these managers. We've all seen the Mourinho. Mourinho used to rattle people in this country, in England. I remember in 2004 when he came in, he just rattled the press. He went to Italy. Everyone is irritated by him. Arteta probably is the same guy. And people say, but you haven't won anything. But you're rattled. Imagine if he won. But you're rattled already. Imagine if he won. Right?
This is the irony. Jose didn't become Jose after he won the Champions League with Porto. Jose was behaving, when you speak to people, Jose was like that the majority of his career, but he did it on purpose. Sir Alex Ferguson, I know he's a serial winner, but Fergie used to say a lot of things. And I wish Fergie was managing he managed a little bit when people had Twitter and stuff, but it wasn't like it is now. It wasn't the social media era. The amount of times he would say things that people would go, oh, he's a liar here. Oh, he's contradicted himself. Yeah, on purpose. Fergie's dark arts was always about getting into the minds of his fellow managers. And the only person that he never had the opportunity, age plays a part sometimes, but every other manager, Jose, Rafa Benitez, Kevin Keegan, Wenger, he managed with his dark arts to get under their skin, to make them behave in a certain way, which is why the fan bases of all those clubs still despise him and Manchester United until this day. The bit I'm not enjoying about all of this is that suddenly Arsenal are being made to look. I mean, I want to show you something that's really funny today. I watch this show religiously. I really enjoy the overlap. This morning, the overlaps thumbnail said, "Are Arsenal cheats?" based on their dark arts, which is a massive claim when you consider that at no point have they ever done a show where they've said, "Are City cheats?" and discussed the allegations. They haven't asked a question in that way. They've now changed the thumbnail, though, after a lot of complaints by people to "Are City guilty?" So they've now changed it. They've gone and changed it. And I think it's because Paul Scholes does make a joke in the show that Arsenal are cheating with the way David Raya holds the ball on the floor and everything else. And stats got put out that show how long Arsenal will take to do restarts. But then again, people have gone and found other stats that show that when it comes to goal kicks this season, Man City take longer than anybody else to take them. The problem is, and I've always said this about diving, it's when people moan about diving, I always get annoyed because every single one of us has players on our team that dive. When we win a penalty through diving, we cheer it. When we concede one, we condemn it as cheating. And I've said it before, unless you're self-policing, keep your mouth quiet. I've seen Chelsea fans in that. I will never attack the dark arts because Fergie was the master of them, the best in the world. Now, he did different things to what Pep did. City fans, you've got a manager who is renowned for it. Your tactical fouls to stop attacks against you are legendary. Chelsea fans, when it comes to style of play, can be considered a dark art in terms of sitting behind the ball, being hard to break down, being pragmatic. Chelsea are famous because of what Jose brought in and what he turned you into, and you continue that beyond him, and you are famous for it, and you guys love it. How the hell are you condemning Arsenal's tactics? The only element here that I do agree with is Arsenal fans for years complained about other clubs doing all these things. They're now doing them. But remember, it coming from the other direction. Arsenal fans, in essence, were complaining about, oh, you guys do this and you guys do that. Because in the heart of hearts, they wanted it. That is what envy and jealousy does. That's what envy and jealousy does. I've got a friend, every time me and my mates buy a new car, he always like, why'd you spend your money on that? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you doing this? And you can just tell it's because he's not in a position to be able to do it. And we always say, listen, bro, my mate Jay was like, I treated myself. So what? But you can see he isn't asking the question because he's genuinely worried about you running out of money. He's asking the question because he's annoyed because right now he can't afford one. And it isn't even like any of my mates show off. We're a little bit too old for that. You can always smell jealousy in the air. But I find it so crazy that Man United fans, Chelsea fans, City fans, who are, Liverpool had a manager that wound everybody up, who used to run onto the pitch and celebrate goals and not get in trouble. It weren't even a few years ago when Man United were rightfully getting, by the way, loads of penalties we deserved. Pot comes out, speaks to the media. Suddenly we stop getting them. That is part of the dark arts. Everyone going weird about what Carl Walker was doing with the poking stuff. I'm sitting there listening to everybody talking, saying, you've never played football. From a kid, I was told, stand on the back of the Achilles, pinch. This is what I was told when I was 10 years old by a football coach. Pinch the lad when you're at corner, just at the bottom of his bum, top of his thigh, like at the back of his leg, pinch him. Make him hit you. Make him do something. Get him sent off. These are just normal things that are taught to players. And we're suddenly acting like, oh my God, it's strange or it's weird. I'm going to quote Sean Dyche again. This is utter woke nonsense. This is all part of football. We should not be condemning it. We should be thankful. And I know you won't like this bit, Hassam, but I'm so glad that we're starting to see some real rivalry again. The Liverpool City rivalry was pants. It was pony. It was fake. It was boring. This is proper.
Even if you are right, why are people now saying that was better? Like that's
liars.
The thing.
They're liars.
No, but that's the thing that I don't get it. At the time, everyone was saying the Liverpool City rivalry is so fake. They hug and love each other, and Klopp props up Pep, and Pep props up Klopp, and blah blah blah. Now, because people don't like Arsenal's dark arts, all of a sudden the Pep Klopp rivalry is amazing. But you weren't telling me that when I was mid rivalry.
You're on mute, Mo.
Muted myself. What dark arts are we talking about? Stop fueling
Them
the
wasting
narrative.
time is dark arts. Imagine.
There is no dark arts. We have been seeing the same things for 25 years or 30 years. People have been doing exactly the same.
It's just football.
There are no dark arts. Actually, this new thing that Arsenal are doing dark arts. What dark arts? There are no dark arts. Like, what are we talking about here, guys?
Time is dark
No,
arts.
listen.
Guys, the media invented this yesterday. Guys.
Well, no. I mean, in fairness, in fairness.
But what I mean is that it surfaced
yeah.
to the pit. It surfaced about Arsenal, but this word dark arts is something that is part.
Do you know what it is? It's a case of this, right? It's almost like everything Arsenal have ever been ridiculed for not being, from when they stopped winning the Premier League in 2004 until challenging for it again now. They were slammed for not being nasty enough, for not being man enough, for not being savvy, for not using the dark arts, for always trying to play nice football, even when it wasn't conducive, even when they didn't have the best footballing team they tried. They are now being smart. They are now being savvy, and people can't handle it. That's all this is about. And look, we saw that journalist from The Athletic, absolute scumbag of a man, who did the article saying that Partey injured Rodri, and it was altered, but it was part of a piece of all this horrible jostling at corners. It's now led to one of the best players in the world's knee being hurt. Firstly, this crying over, I've said it before, it should just become part of the rules. You should be allowed to push and pull as much as you want on corners, because it happens anyway. It's only every now and then they fucking penalize someone. It's ridiculous. But again, more utter woke nonsense, and trying to blame Arsenal and Partey for Rodri's injury is an abomination. But it's because certain journalists, certain online personalities are fuming that Arsenal are now doing the things that they never used to do, and they are a better team. Can you imagine the outrage?
But Man
if
City
they actually win a major trophy? Sorry?
But Man City themselves do that, though. This is why when I started this show, I spoke about hypocrisy. One thing I can't stand is show the same energy. Manchester City, tactical fouls. Mourinho called it out. They stop every counter-attack against them with a tactical foul. How many times Fernandinho got sent off? How many times Rodri got sent off? How many times any of these got sent off? Exactly. So they stop these counter-attacks with tactical fouls and shit like that. And City also wastes time when City are up. City also do all this stuff when City are up. City pass the ball left, right, 700 million times as well. So who cares?
I mean, there was a rule change in England, partly because of what Liverpool's 70s and 80s team used to do. They would go 1-0 up and just keep passing the ball between the players and the goalkeeper when they each better pick it up. And there was no time limit. So, so they would literally go 1-0 up in the 50th minute and then literally just keep passing between the centre-backs and the goalkeeper.
They actually changed that rule because of Egypt and the World Cup.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's part of it to do with that as well. They want to make the game a bit more entertaining.
It's very